Optic Watch Reviews, 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 Optic Watch Reviews.
Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, first collection review of the year. This one is for Ben, a 40-year-old management consultant from the UK living in Singapore with his wife and daughter. At the office he wears a smart casual, and out of the office he likes muted colors, but sometimes wear the occasional loud, bright colored shirt. As he tells me in his email, he has a fairly chunky wrist, 18 centimeters, so he can pull off 42mm type of cases, but he feels the right size for a watch is 3940. I will agree with that. He describes his own collection as a low to mid level luxury. He doesn't aspire, at least for now, to get into Patek or AP. When we accumulate watches, at some point we think, I could have bought this or that Patek or AP. Well, theoretically, really the only ones accessible are more like the dress watches, the dress Patek Calatravas at this point. So they're not really usable on a daily basis like Rolex would be, and it's not as much fun to have one or two watches. They kind of tie you down if you like to rotate the collection, add little pieces here and there. Alright, so Ben says he bought his first quality watch in 2003 when he graduated. It was a 39mm Omega Speedmaster with a silver dial, but Omega overpolished it when he had it serviced in 2015. It lost its sharpness, so he gifted it to his mother, replacing it by a Tudor Aeronaut. And since then his collection has steadily grown. Of the core collection, 60% were bought pre-owned. As you know, like in Hong Kong, Singapore has a very good pre-owned market, and they have also the buy-sell app like we have here. Anyway, let's dig in. First we have the GirardPerregaux WWTC Titanium. Ben likes the world time function. It's the same as me with my GMT obsession. It kind of brings you a bit closer to home, especially now that we can't travel as much or at all. Ben says it's a large watch, and he does sometimes consider selling it. It's a bit of an oddball kind of watch. GP is a good manufacturer. The Laureato is a nice watch. I really like the Infinity version of it. But the one you have here, it's the kind of watch you buy to tick a box. It's well made, and you can get it at a good price probably. But looking at your collection, I feel like it's a bit out of place. The kind of watch you tick a box with, you scratch an itch with, and then move on. The important thing, I think, is to move on, to liberate a space in the watch box and a bit of money to move into something a bit more usable, because unless it's your favorite watch and you wear it all the time and you have that world time function all the time, then what's the point of having it? Is what I've said before about ticking the boxes. You can only wear one at a time, and maybe you want to have your just when you want to have your chronograph, you happen to be wearing your GMT. You really need to pay up to get a grand complication that has as many complications as you want to be able to have that one perfect watch. Anyway, long story short, GP. It's not a bad looking watch. It's not a bad watch in any way, but I would agree with you that if you feel like selling it, there's probably a good reason for it. Next we have the blue Tudor Aeronaut. Great tool watch. Ben says he enjoys wearing it on the weekend. Tudor for me is the weekend champion. I just made a little Tudor collection just to take home for the weekend. It is the champion of the weekend watch, and the Perego is really what they came in on their own with something that doesn't belong to Rolex. I really think it's a great watch. I would have bought it. I would have bought the LHD version if my wrist had been 18 centimeter like Ben's, but for me it was just a bit too big. Very cool watch. Next we have the Rolex Explorer discontinued 39mm version. Killer watch, near perfect, Ben says, and I agree. Love mine. if you have to have just one watch, keep just one, keep that one. It's almost annoying that it's been discontinued, because now it's seen as some kind of investment watch. You have to be more careful with it, and I don't want to be careful with mine. It has a couple of dings already. I just want to enjoy it. At some point you only live once, and you want to enjoy your watches. Next to it we have the Zenith Chronomaster Revival A385, bought from an AD, 25% discount, cappuccino dial. I did the same. I bought the Panda version. Really loved it because it's so different, really beautifully made, nice bevel, nice brushing. You have the El Primero, the classic version, non-hackable. You have the nice display case back, and on the bracelet, it's really cool. It's the Gay Frere bracelet, which pinched my hair, and then I got the Chronomaster Sport, and I had to make a choice, and I kind of fell out of love. It's a beautiful watch, but at some point it didn't excite me anymore. But I can't blame anyone from loving this watch. We did a collection review with a viewer who had 3 of them. Why not? It's a very cool watch. It's the kind of watch that a big actor who loves racing would have bought in the 50s or 60s, right? Next we have the GLC Reversal Large Duo Face, an impulse buy at an airport 3 years ago. For a long time Ben didn't connect with it, but changed the strap recently and enjoy it very much now. Yeah, the thing with the Reversal is that everybody agrees, and you hear in every video that it's the classic, everybody has to own it. But at the same time, it's fairly dressy in the way they make it now, even if it's in steel. And I think that's why they came up with the fabric straps this year, to dress it down, make it more usable. And that's why I went for the older Grand Sport version with the GMT complication as well. Because to me it brings it to a more usable format, and it's actually my most interesting watch. It's the one I would take to a watch guys meet. It's the one I take when I go out, and I don't want to wear the common Rolex, something that's very well known. What I like about GLC, people know that shape, they know it's good manufacture, but you're not going to get robbed. Nobody's going to rob you for it, and at the same time you have something interesting. So in many ways this is my best watch, because it ticks all the boxes for me. Mine has the lume on top of it and adjustments in the clasp. Really a great watch. But yeah, I'm glad that you connect with it, and you don't have to. I don't think it's because everybody says it's a great watch that you have to, but in your collection it does look great. Next we have the Oris Diver 65 Momotaro. Modest piece, but sits great on the wrist, says Ben. I enjoy the minty colored dial, bronze highlights on the bezel, and retro charm. Yeah, the Diver 65 is it's Oris's finest, probably, along with the sort of the big crown type of pilot watches. They're very fetching little watches. I also had the Longines Legend Diver, which is much stronger built, so I kept that one and I sold the Oris. The Oris Diver 65 is actually what ignited in me the love of watches. I didn't buy it as my first watch, probably should have, but it's the first thing that caught my eye and got me into watches about 4 or 5 years ago. And they always come up with different colors. I think this one in particular looks great. It doesn't, as a tool watch, it's nothing compared to the Tudor Aeronaut, but it's also half or a third of the price. It's more of a fashion type of diver. It doesn't hurt, but if I had to sell one of your divers, I would sell that one, I suppose. But as always goes, it's a nice watch. Next to it we have the Tudor Aeronaut GMT 2200. Not for everyone, but Ben likes it. Likes the way it wears. It's similar to the GP titanium that we started this core collection review with. It's a bit of an oddball, and Tudor made many of those oddball type of watches. And they're fun. They're fun to look at, and yeah, again, you can't blame anyone from grabbing one of those. It's not the same level of general. Not many people are gonna enjoy that type of watch compared to the Rolex, of course. But hey, if it makes you happy, why not? But again, if there was something to reduce in the collection, if you wanted to pare it down, just say you've enjoyed it and then move on. Just pass it along. Then we have the Air King 116900. Ben says, I dismissed the Air King thinking it looked ridiculous in pictures. I visited a pre-owned dealer and saw one in the flesh and fell in love. I remember when I started collecting and I wanted to buy my first Rolex, the Air King was in every window next to the Explorer, and I wouldn't even ask to try them on. And then when everything disappeared, I almost had to beg to get to see one. And when I did try it, I did love it, and I did buy it. And I sold it like an idiot after I got the Milgauss, which is the same construction, but the Milgauss is a bit more fancy. But I do miss my Air King. It's such a cool looking watch and very unique, and it's the model that Rolex could take in any direction. So when they discontinue this, the next one will probably look completely different, and this one will, I think, increase more in value. Already now the prices are up 50% from retail. It's it's a bit silly for me. By the way, I sold it for what I paid. I didn't make any money, and I made someone happy. It was a nice lady who wanted to buy a Rolex for her husband. So to be honest, I feel good about that sale. You can't keep them all. I wanted to buy something else at that time. I needed the money. I didn't want to put too much money in my collection. You can't keep them all, but I wish I still had it, of course. And after all, it is the only pilot watch. If we exclude the GMT, which is a bit different, it's a traveler's watch. This is the only real pilot-looking watch in the Rolex lineup. So very cool. And at night you only have lume on the triangle at 12. I quite liked it. It's quite mysterious. Okay, so next we have the Breguet Type 20 Aero Naval. This is a watch I really enjoy wearing, says Ben. The look of the face, the coin edge case, and a great lume. Yeah, they're beautiful. Every time I see one, the Type 20, Type 21, I think they're great. It's probably not the Breguet of Breguets, it's not what symbolizes Breguet, but they made this watch, and it's a great looking watch, great looking piece. Probably more usable, more sturdy than your other chronographs. I like it very much. Nothing wrong with that watch. It's a great looking watch. Then we have the JLC Master Control Sector Dial Chronograph. What a stunning piece. Those sector dials were only made for 1 year. They had the geographic and they had the time only. This is a recent purchase from Ben, and one that he enjoys very much. He would like an alternative strap to be able to wear it more casually. It's a cool watch because it can be worn very casually. It can be worn more formally as well. Wonderful watch to have in a collection. If you don't want to buy that dressy piece, I think it's one great way to go with those sector dials. They are dressy when you want them to be dressy, and they are very casual if you wear them with jeans on a maybe more casual strap indeed. I think that's a wonderful purchase. It's one of my favorite watches in your collection. From your core collection, if you had to pare it down, I would say the JLC, and the Explorer are my favorite. Then you put a Pelagos to have your diver for the weekend. Those three are great. The reason I sold my Air King also is because I got the Explorer afterwards, and I really love the Explorer because it's thinner. It has more. Everything is loomed on the dial. it's a lot more wearable, I think. So that's also the reason why I sold my Air King. But yeah, don't sell your Air King. You have it, keep it. I think the value could really jump even more on that one. It's a great looking watch in the collection in any case. But yeah, the Reversal is beautiful. It's good to have one Zenith El Primero, and you chose the one that you liked. I think those are the best watches in your collection. Nothing wrong with the Breitling Type 20 as well. It's a great value watch, let's say it like that. If you don't want to spend crazy amounts but have a good brand name behind in your collection, well, that's the way to go. And I've done the same in my collection. Now your oddball watches, the GP, the Tudor, hey, you know, you can always I'm sure you didn't pay too much for those. You can always sell them. And same for the Oris. They don't hurt anybody. They're good looking watches, but yeah, they don't have the same weight. Now Ben has a few other pieces which are non-core to the collection, and I'm going to read his email. He says, as you document on your channel, watch collecting is a journey filled with highs and lows. Along the way I have made plenty of mistakes. God, we all have. Driven by a desire to try different watches, only to quickly discover I didn't need or particularly enjoy them. Recently, though, these mistakes have been a great opportunity to share the love. I'm enjoying gifting watches to friends and relatives who will enjoy and appreciate more. I'm going to do the same if I can ever go back to Belgium. I have 6 nephews over there, and a lot of my Seiko divers are going to go to them. Very cool, usable watches for young people. So Ben says, you needn't review the following pieces, which I still wear, albeit infrequently, but I am providing them so you have the complete picture. There's a Unimatic U1 FMN, there's a Seiko Paddy Baby Turtle. I love the Baby Turtle. There's an Oris Aquis Upcycle, yeah, with a recycled center dial, yeah. I see. I don't really like the Aquis personally, but it's a nicely made watch, and it's different enough from all the other divers. I think it has a strong identity for people who love the Aquis. Nothing wrong with it. I just tried one yesterday, didn't really like it, but there you go. Then we have the Oris Big Crown Pointer Date 80th anniversary. Again, one of the standout features of the Oris catalog. Nice watch. But I feel also a watch that you can grow out of love with pretty quickly. Then we have the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. It's a rite of passage. You gotta have a Hamilton, and a G-Shock, customized there with by Bamford London. They're not so bad actually. Good fun watches. As you say, we all have to scratch those itches and try different things. Now, Ben also is not in a hurry now to add to the collection, but he's looking at a few things. There's the GirardPerregaux Laureato Yellow Arabic Dial Limited Edition. Yes, so I didn't even know them. I had to look them up on Google. So for all the Arab countries, every brand makes those Arabic dial. I think it's the Western Arabic numerals type, or is it the Eastern? I think it's the Western. We use the Eastern ones. Yeah, you know, they always bring something special to the watches. They look amazing on the Rolex dates, but on the GP Laureato, it doesn't really do anything for me. As I said, the one I like is the Infinity. Focus your attention on that one. That one is going to be special, as more and more people are starting to look at the GP, you know, with the success of the Nautilus and the Royal Oak. It pulls up everything else along with it. The Vacheron Overseas, which I think is too big, oversized for most people, but also the GP Laureato. But the one you should be trying to get is the Infinity dial. I think that one is just just the one to get. This Arabic dial limited edition, I feel them a bit too busy. Not sure it really suits the watch. Then Ben is looking at the Glass Shooter Original 70s Panorama Date Blue Dial. It's a watch I recommended in one of my collection reviews. It just ticks all the boxes. has all the complications we like. It's very original and obviously from a good manufacturer. Yeah, I think it's and it's a great way to get something different than what everybody else talks about. And this could be the one that really breaks Geo into the public eye. Although, yeah, it is a very peculiar look, very 70s, but I think it's really beautifully made. And for your type of wrist, a bit bigger wrist, I think you're the guy who can pull it off. Very good idea, that one, and it comes in very few different colors, limited editions. Yeah, I think it's you're onto something there. Then Ben also likes the Rolex OP 39mm discontinued grape dial. Absolutely a great choice. I was looking at the 116000 36mm with a concentric dial. I really like that one as well. Some of them are also Air King models. OP Air King used to be kind of like the same kind of thing. Yeah, the grape dial is a special one. It's a bit redundant in your collection because you have the Explorer, but at the same time you can't really go wrong with those. Ben is also looking for a gift for his wife. She has a fairly small wrist, 14 centimeter, and looking at the OP 34mm pre-owned. Yeah, he wants something timeless, well built. And yeah, if your wife is on board, I think it's a great purchase compared to the more girly type of watches. Try to convince her to get the 36mm. I think it's better for you both. You could share it. Maybe instead of buying yourself a grape dial 39, get the 36, and you can, if one day she grows out of it, you can always grab it from her. Although it's going to be a bit small for you at 36mm. 34mm is going to be a bit more only the ladies type of models. And yeah, well, this concludes what Ben what was telling me. Thank you so much, Ben, for sharing your collection with me, with everyone. And it's an interesting collection, right? Because I think many people can see themselves into it. How you bought those different brands that are a rite of passage, the Hamilton, the Oris, and you tend to accumulate a bit more, and at some point you have to learn to move on and use Carousel, the buy-sell app in Singapore, also to sell sometimes, not just buy things. Because now you have a strong core collection and you can't wear them all, and I know that they're all beautiful. I think the Hamilton Khaki, for what it is a great watch. The Oris Diver 65 is a great watch, but it's you move on as well. And I think now that you have a couple of nice Rolex in your collection, a couple of nice GLCs, it's up to you, but I would try to refocus my collection into that. And yeah, as you say, share the love, sell the other things that are weighing you down, because there will always be another watch you want to add. And it would be nice to get one of the ones that you mentioned. I like the idea of certain Laureato. But I prefer the Geo 70s Panorama Date. I think it's a more funky watch. It's really an impressive watch. That would be the one for me to add. And yeah, I would reduce a bit, remove some of the oddballs, some of the entry mid-level type of pieces. Maybe keep one or two, but you have your Pelagos. I think it's a great watch for the weekend. And then yeah, focus your attention on getting that one extra quality piece. All right, guys, I think that about does it for Ben's collection. Very cool collection, some quality, and yeah, it shows a journey, and I'm sure in a couple of years it will look even better. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you, Ben, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye bye.